What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. It's Yaga. How are we all doing? I hope we are well. And today, I had to make sure the audio was good. Last time, I thought it was fucked up. Turns out, I'm just an idiot. So, today, wandering down rabbit holes. The term rabbit hole has been used a lot lately, especially in the last 20 years. Probably got popular because of the movie The Matrix. Ever since Morpheus told Neo, take the red pill and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Meaning, a lot of people use this. I'm using it because it makes a point. There are endless rabbit holes to go down where you can just learn new things or, information that's intriguing, events that happen that may or may not be true, conspiracies, all this stuff. And you can get wrapped up in it. You can, because there's like a weird thing now trying to get people to, not like conspiracies anymore. And, the word conspire, anybody can conspire. I can get together with, say my sisters, and we conspired to have a surprise party for my mother. That's what conspiracy is. We conspired together to have a party. It's not every time you say conspiracy, it's like, whoa, but sometimes it is. There's a lot of neat things, a lot of information out there that I find intriguing. So wandering down rabbit holes. I don't take things like I see them anymore. I can't. I've been lied to a lot in my life. I was bullshitted. All the information we know is constantly changing. So when you know that, for me, I've accepted that, and it's allowed me to just question things. It's allowed me to dig for truth on my own time. And that's all going down rabbit holes are. It's like the pursuit of truth. That's all there is. Honesty, truth, whatever that looks like. And human beings, we are egomaniacs, right? I can be, to the point where I want what I want when I want it. And if people get into power, money, that sort of stuff, status, it's easy to just think you can have it your way all the time. That's why a small percentage of people have all the money in the world, and a very large percentage of people have very little money. The rest of us. So what does it mean by going down those rabbit holes? Well, there's all kinds. I labeled a few here just to give you some. Just the Epstein case is a new one, right? Nobody, including myself, accepts the official story that all of a sudden he committed suicide. And if you don't know who Epstein is, or that case, look into it. He's part of a whole lot of evil. And know that. Do your own research. What other conspiracies are there? 9/11, JFK, the moon landing, aliens, Area 51, Roswell, you name it. The list goes on. And what I've discovered for me is 2 years ago, I was going down every rabbit hole I could find. I spent an entire summer I was convinced in 2017 that Planet X was coming, and there was going to be like a meteor that hit the Earth and just send us back into the Dark Ages. Not even the Dark Ages, but just reset the button, right? I thought this. There was a lot of things that were intriguing to me because I was looking up history of stories from different cultures about how they would say there's like a red dragon in the sky. It's like a tale of, like, say, a planet. The Planet X is supposed to be this allegedly another sun, because we're in binary systems, of course. If you go into solar energy, and that system comes into comes around Earth every 12,000 years or so, and when it does, it just brings a whole hail of like space debris, and it's a lot of shit, right? let's just say I thought by September of 2017 it was all over. And what did it happen? Nothing. So I lived in fear for like the entire summer, just had this weird feeling, oh my God, this is it. It's going to happen. And then it didn't. So what I've learned is when you go down these rabbit holes, it teaches you a lot about yourself. Whether a lot of this stuff is true, 100% bullshit, nonsense, all lies, part lies, it doesn't matter. But the journey looking into the truth helps you discover more about yourself, you know? And when I went on this Planet X journey, it's a fascinating thing, but then now I'm thinking like I don't know if we even have planets like we do. I know it's crazy. But again, when you figure out you're lied to in life about, I don't know, a lot, you kind of just sit back and go, when people go, this is how it is, you go, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So there's information out there. There's good information. There's shitty information. There's truth. There's lies. And it's all blended together. And I spent a lot of time weeding through stuff. And I've come up with my own conclusions based on what's out there, not just like a Google research. It's a lot more than that, like a lot of different information. And when I accepted the fact that Planet X wasn't going to destroy us, and though there may be some truths to it, I don't know. It just made me go, you know what? What am I doing in my day to day? The reality around me is where I'm at. Like right now, I'm here doing this live stream, right? This is my reality here, talking to you folks. And this is it. This is real. Okay, great. Is Planet X real? I don't know. We didn't go to the moon. What? See, there's that too. Now, I think because I went down these rabbit holes, it has shown me that there is so much stuff out there that will constantly keep people digging to a point of either constant debate and arguing with other people who either have opposing views or believe something different or want to present information what I've realized, it just kind of keeps people fighting amongst themselves. I don't want to be fighting amongst other people. I'm just a guy who has adopted honesty and truth. Like I'm just honest with how I see things. That's why I say 2 years ago I went down this rabbit hole. Why? To prove a point. Like you can do it, I can do it, and it just taught me like how easy it is to get scared. How easy something that just whatever I can cling to the fear of it, and that makes sense, right? Fire, brimstone, Armageddon, God, and the devil stuff didn't make sense, but for some reason, a planetary system that we can't see, and you can't see it until it's like on top of you because it's infrared, that made sense to me. There's a level of insanity to it. There's a level of intrigue to it. There's a level of what's enough. And there's a level of acceptance. There's a level of letting stuff go. So what I'm going to do is try to focus a little bit more on, the examples, but also to not to focus on the problems themselves, but to how to get out of the rabbit hole once you've climbed in. Because I tell you, when you go down it and you pick one, I go far. All right. I went far. I mean, I'm obsessive, right? So I just fucking dig. I dig. I'm like, that's intriguing. So I go on to the next piece of information, then the next piece of information. I'm like, that confirms the piece of information that I found here. And then I'm just sucked in. And I tell you, it teaches you a lot about yourself. It really does. It teaches you how we're susceptible to a lot of things, right? How much of it is real? I'm willing to admit, I don't know, right? But I do know most people in power like to control things with fear. And if you have fear and control, the rest of the herd, the doves and the pigeons, they kind of follow suit. But then you get a few people that are the hawks and the eagles and are like, I don't think that's right. Critical thinkers, people that can kind of see through shit. How do you see through shit? By going through enough of your own and learning about your own awareness of yourself, allows you to see it out in the open. This is the journey that I've been on. That's why going on this Planet X binge like 2 years. Oh God, I apologize for using the word binge. I hate that. Those are trickery words. Don't do that. It definitely subliminally programs some kind of addiction in young people. I'll go into that some other time. But there's all kinds of other rabbit holes you can go down. Like Planet X was the one I went down. Aliens was always one. For some reason, I always thought aliens seem more. I don't know. Like again, why do I cling to aliens? But then I grew up in like a Catholic home, and I don't think God and church or Jesus and all that that's okay. That sounds weird. But then I'm willing to believe there's little gray fellas in spaceships coming to Earth because that made more sense. It made more sense to me that we didn't evolve from the Big Bang theory or whatever, like evolution says, that it made more sense that we're more like a science experiment from a different race. I don't know why that made sense, but it did. So, hey, whatever your beliefs are, we cling to them and then we go with that, right? Do aliens exist? I don't know. Here's some other things I find fascinating. Recently, another rabbit hole. There was that big thing a few weeks back or a month ago, whatever, about let's storm Area 51. Let's have them tear it down. And everybody under the sun will tell you what's at Area 51, but we don't know. And I think since we know that exists, it's not what we think it is. It's designed to keep us fighting amongst ourselves, almost like a mystery, right? Like, what is this wonderful Area 51? Does it have aliens? Do they harbor them? See, it's always questions that can't be answered. So it keeps you in the state of flux, right? You keep, oh, well, that maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And then, but I heard about my friend's friend who was stationed at the base near there, and they said weird shit happened. But it's like, we don't know. I love to hear from people that actually work there or were associated with it, but I've noticed that like the deepest rabbit holes there are, like the secret shit, if you know about it, it's probably not what you think it is. Meaning, if I know about Area 51, it's not what we think it is. Same thing with anything. 9/11, JFK. It's like we knew about it, it's not what we think it is. Look into all that stuff, is what I'm saying. For your own. Do your own research. It's just fun. It's fun to question shit. To sit back and just be like, well, we went to the moon. That's what it is. No. No, because it's about accepting lies for your own life. If you accept a ridiculous lie, you'll be willing to accept all lies, which means you're controlled and you don't even know it. So if you unplug from the matrix, so to speak, you yourself can just be free of that nonsense. You don't have to live in the nonsense. You can be free by being honest with yourself, seeking truth. Now, take this Epstein thing, for example. He's a part of a very evil sex trafficking thing, right? Sex trafficking is a real thing. It happens. I know some people who actually do some really good work helping people get out of that shit. It's real. That's an evil. Selling people off as just a sex toy. That's evil, folks. You can admit yourself to that. Just because you don't see it on a day-to-day in your life doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you're going to the lovely vacation spot sipping on the beach with your fancy drink doesn't mean evil doesn't exist. Evil's everywhere. Just so is good, though. And it's not good versus evil, I think. It's really more or less like good needs evil and vice versa. But how do you accept these things? Well, this is what I did. So I went down that Planet X thing because this is the one that I just spent a real significant amount of time on. And when I went down this hole, I realized after the September thing hit and it was supposed to be this day, it's always something, right? And then it started to make things a little bit obvious to me. Like there's always somebody saying something negative going to happen. Y2K, 2012, right? Planet X. The end of the world was going to be in the year 2000. It's like all this shit. It's always somebody spreading fear, gets people going, well, maybe it is. And it's like, no, there's a good chance you're probably going to die of old age or because of you know, because of your shitty diet, cancer and diabetes, rather than have an asteroid come and strike you, you know? Every generation's got their end of times kind of story, Armageddon, and it's been going on forever. Not saying it doesn't happen. See, this is why one rabbit hole that I find very truthful is the Great Flood. And I think if you step back and don't just look at like religion and books like the Bible and stuff like that, it's just, nonsense stories. But if you look at the stories that for some reason all cultures around the globe at different periods of time have a story of a flood, right? So the flood to me is intriguing because we all know it. And if you don't know it, the flood in the Bible, Noah's Ark, he builds an ark, two of every animal, right? To survive everything until the water recedes and then starts everything over. There's an interesting fellow by the name of Graham Hancock, and he has a few books out there that points out just some like geological evidence that like there was something that happened around 12,600 years ago, I believe it is. So say a comet or something happened where temperature spiked and there was massive flooding, and like just looking at like Google Maps helps see like how water carved through the land, and it's very fascinating. I recommend going down that flood route. But that seems kind of truthful to me. Like, you know, I live in Illinois. It's flat for the most part up here because allegedly, well, not allegedly, we were covered under ice. The Great Lakes were glaciers, right? Supposedly, maybe. Yes, they were. Then they melted. So those glaciers flatten out the land. So it's really flat in parts of Illinois, right? But then there's other parts that start to get hilly. I mean, it's flat. There's nothing until you get to like the edges. So you can tell like it's flatter the closer you get towards the lakes, if that makes sense. So the closer you get towards the body of water, that land for a while is going to be pretty flat. I've lived here my whole life. I've seen it, right? So this is just my truth. This is what I've witnessed. This is what I see and what I've experienced. So then you find other stories throughout different cultures about this flood. The Bible. There's other civilizations. Look it up. But the geological stuff tells me that that might be true. That might be some truth to that. Like almost like something did happen. We almost all died, but few of us survived, so they had to start over. So they wiped out a lot of the assholes, but they also wiped out a lot of the good people that remember that. So it's just kind of like it's like the telephone game, I think. Like information's passed down over the centuries and it just kind of gets watered down or exaggerated or misconstrued or construed. I'm really trying to use better words, but I suck. I'm dyslexic. It's fascinating though, right? Step back and just for a minute and think about that flood. We think it's just a crazy story. A man, maybe Noah itself was crazy, but the flood itself, there's truth in that, right? Earthquakes happen, right? The old Pangea thing where all the continents used to be one, but now they're not. That's kind of fascinating. See, it's fun. It's okay to question stuff. See, this can be healthy too for people to also kind of get through some of the bullshit in your life. Question this shit. Go. It's kind of fun. But I know for me, I got a little bit too crazy on certain things. Like with the Planet X one, I got really fucking down there. And then the flood thing too, I kind of went like, oh my God, this is totally it. But what it taught me about myself was, you don't know, and it's okay. And then the people who are like, I do know, watch out for that shit. The only thing that I know that is true is when you're honest and tell the truth from your own perspective, your life gets better and it's easier to see bullshit as it's coming your way. That's it. Other than that, I don't know. Like, do aliens exist? I don't know. I've never saw one. Does Area 51 harbor aliens? Probably not, but I don't know. I know there's crazy technology going on that we don't know about, and we probably never will. But I don't think anything's as great of a secret as we think it is, but I also don't think anything is less than what it is either. I'm sure there's some mystery to Area 51. Sure. Did we go to the moon? No, I don't think we did. Why? Well, let me touch on that one. Why it makes sense. Even before the recent, it's kind of bigger now. Like this whole moon thing, people are getting divided. Some people think we did. Some people think we didn't. There's a lot of shit go online. There's all kinds of debates and arguments. But I know even when I was younger, I remember learning about, going to the moon and everything like that. But I always thought to myself in the back of my mind, I go, why aren't we going all the time? Right? If we went there before, why aren't we back there again, like continuously studying shit? You tell me they only went a few times and that's all they needed to know, right? Why, think about this. They want to colonize Mars, right? And I just did air quotes for some fucking dumbass reason. They want to colonize Mars. Okay. Why wouldn't we practice on the moon? But we can't go back to the moon, according to a NASA scientist. There's a video that says we've destroyed the technology. It's impossible. It's really hard to build it. And all the tapes from the moon are gone. It's very convenient. One of the greatest achievements of mankind, you think would have been preserved a little bit more. Oh, but there's the clips and everything. I'm like, no. The original tapes are gone. So you can't see all the footage, right? We haven't been back since the 70s. The last time they tried to go, they blew up the thing. It's like, and if you haven't noticed, NASA shirts are really big right now. Evil hides in plain sight. Why are there shirts that say NASA trying to get people into that crap? Because it's crap. I think it's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of lies, folks. And when you've been lied to, you go, no. But they do build they build equipment and do things. Is it what they say it is? No. Do all the people there, are they in on it? I don't think so. I think a lot of the people there are just like other people. They learn a thing and they think they know about the thing and they go about life, And then they're like, I learned it because I read it in school and I got my PhD and I got science. It's like, okay. I'm not saying you're not smart and I'm not saying you don't understand physics a little bit better than me. But why didn't we go back? Right? Why don't we practice colonizing that first before we can take a trip to Mars? See, it seems like it's all bullshit. It seems like it's all a bunch of nonsense bullshit to me. People, they get a hard on for it. They're like, oh, we're going to Mars, guys. We're going to colonize Mars. Humans, woo! We're fucking awesome. I'm like, and they're like, we're going to Mars. We didn't even go to the moon. And I don't think we did. I think we built fancy rockets that went really high up. And that was it. I think we did that. But I think everybody, because you think about it, nobody else, no other countries did. And I like when people are like, well, they don't have the technology. I'm like, they have the technology. China's awesome. All of your shit is built in China. All of it, for the most part, is built in China. So if you think this is an American thing, you're fucking retarded, because it's not. All of our stuff, all of electronic gizmos and everything is all from overseas, guys. China, yeah, all of it. 98% of it, maybe, right? It all comes from there. They build it there. So if you don't think that they haven't been able to build a rocket to go to the moon, you're fucking stupid. So this isn't to like piss people off necessarily, but it's like, dude, know it's a lie. Accept it. Don't live in fear. Move on with your life. And when bullshit comes your way, when people are like, you need to believe this or this is the next thing, no. You just say, no, I don't. I'm good. Thank you. Because it's lies. So, again, the technology was destroyed. We haven't gone back since the 70s. There's a NASA scientist saying, he's a head guy. He's a NASA astronaut. Look up the video if you can find it on YouTube. Again, do your own research. I always tell people, do this yourself. The information's out there. Figure it out. Because you got to understand, since it has been 50 years, people are dying from that era. So the lie has been skewed over people forgot what the lie was. So when new people find out, they fuck it up. Hell, not too long ago, Trump called out Buzz Aldrin in one of those conferences. He's like, Buzz Aldrin, we're going to go to the moon with American rockets. If you don't think that wasn't just a inside joke, you have no idea. It was, because they know Trump knows we didn't go to the moon, and he doesn't care because he's doing whatever he's got to do that, because there's other shit going on. So the rest of us working people can work and do stuff. Again, it's a fascinating rabbit hole. It's intriguing. Why does it matter? It doesn't. Whether we did or not, just know this. If it's true or not, it doesn't matter. What do you do on your daily life? Are you living okay? Are you being honest with yourself and others? Do you live for truth, or do you just live for yourself? It's okay. There are people that do that, selfish, self-centered people, but those people that live for themselves, I've noticed something. They get scared. And when they get scared, they start buckling under fear, and they can be controlled too. People that are honest and tell the truth are not under control. They are free. They are free from the burdens of all that nonsense. Like, well, if you don't play bro, we're going to tell the world about your stuff. It's like, go ahead, I don't care. That's why public records exist. It's like, what does that do? Nothing. It's a psychological game, man. That's all you got. Your soul, your body, and your mind. And if you got a good mind and it's strong and it's not weak, you could see through all this bullshit. So the moon landing, in my conclusion, I don't think we went. I think it's a great lie. Why is it a great lie? Think about it. You tell people we went, right? Everybody's like, yay. But if you go outside here, Russia knows we didn't go. China knows we didn't go. All those other countries that are up there with America, because we think we're so we like to stroke our own cock. And we are. But the good thing about it, but that's the bad side of America. The good side is that we still have people that go, don't tread on me attitude, which is great. A lot of these other countries, aside from like, say, Russia and China and a few other places, they don't buckle under that. Australia, Canada, Europe, they're gone. Just gone. But Europe's probably, parts of Europe are okay. The UK, maybe not. But look what they're doing in Canada and Australia, and then it could tell you what they're trying to push in America. Don't believe me? Go look it up yourself. Again, I've been watching this stuff for a long time, so I'm very aware. So when people are getting all surprised, like they want to teach transgender sexualism in Illinois schools, I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. No, and I was talking to a young girl at work last night, 19, and we are having a conversation about, where'd you learn this stuff? Because she said she learned it in a class, and I was like, what? What class? Tell me where. She's like, oh, every college. And I'm like, huh, what's your curriculum? Send me some information. I want to know, because that's not right. No, she told me that it's a moment of history, and now they're rights. And I'm like, again, a classic young person I was just as naive and easily controlled at that age, where I heard a received opinion thinking that was the truth, and it's not. And I ran with it, and I was like, this is what it is. And then I had to learn a lot of hard lessons in my 20s and all in my 30s that, wow, I was wrong about a lot of stuff. I was lied to a lot. And no, I'm not taking the bullshit anymore. So why? Because I stopped bullshitting myself. When you stop bullshitting yourself and lose the fear of what other people think and all this stuff is fun. It's fun to go down these rabbit holes. But again, try to do it at your own. It's at your own expense, because you can get wrapped up in it, and then you get scared, like I did a couple years ago with the Planet X stuff, and you go off the rails, and then you start to forget, like, oh, I'm alive right now, and I could be enjoying things. So there's that too. Do your own research, question everything you hear, even from what I'm saying. Fucking question it. Great. If you agree with me, good. Hope your life continues well. If you don't, okay. What's your argument? And again, I was arguing with this girl about being taught this transgender stuff like it was some kind of fucking triumph. And I'm like, it's not a triumph. How is that a triumph? Like they got their rights. And I'm like, oh, you poor people. Poor people with all your nuts, your poor stuff. And it's okay. I don't it's okay. Like, I can't sit there and be like, oh my God, you should believe this. It's like, you know what? I can present some different perspective, right? And then allow the person to decide for themselves. And that's all there is. You know, always like, let me get a second opinion. Like, that's what people do. You don't just take your first thing you hear and be like, that's it. Just like Columbus didn't discover America, Tesla's responsible for everything, and not Edison. It's like you need to just it's good to learn this stuff because what's going on in today's world, this bullshit they are like, this is what you should believe. Anti-Semitism, transgenderism, homo bigot, racist, homophobe. It's all bullshit. It's a lot of nice fluffy words to get you stewing with your emotions so you can get your emotions wound up so you don't think clearly and you make shitty ass decisions in life. Or you keep arguing amongst your friends about this is the way, this is the way, and then you're in this constant battle with yourself, also with others. See, I don't battle too much with myself anymore, and I only pick my battles with others. This is why I like to drop when people like ask me about that stuff. I just all I do is say a few things that make you question what you're saying. Like, is what you're saying have any backing? Well, yeah, she's like, and again, I could tell this young girl at work, she was nervous, and she's just like, well, it's and it's very weak. So I was like, who do you know? Where did that come from? What are your sources? What book did you get that out of? Tell me who published it. It's like go deeper than what you just hear, kids. Go deeper. It's okay. It ain't gonna kill you, but it'll make you feel fucking like, yeah, I don't have to get scared into doing or saying or believing anything because I don't give a shit. The worst thing that happens in my life is I live honestly and truthfully and I treat others pretty decently, and that's it. That's the worst case scenario, and that's not bad. So try to go to old books. This is something I do is I try to find older books pre 2000, pre World War II. Because I feel like after World War II, we started to get into a lot of bullshit. And as the decades rolled on, each generation, we started getting a little bit worse. And we're seeing it now. And why do I say go to older books? Because they weren't tampered with as much. I've noticed that in certain publications, when they've been reprinted, there are different wordings. I've been noticing this, that stuff that's been printed lately, even of older books, is being rewritten a little bit. Give me an example. I don't know. What was I reading? I'm trying to think. The Courage to Create? Was that it? No? Courage to Create? I was reading something. One of my inspirational books, and I realized that it's not following along with the Audible and all this, the audio. The Audible book should be read verbatim from what you got. Like even The Road Less Traveled, there's it's not as set. Me and the lady are reading that, but we got two different copies. I've got a newer one, she's got an older one. And there's also The Wisdom of Insecurity I was reading by Alan Watts, and this is how I figured this out. So I like to read books but also have an Audible version going while I'm reading and having somebody talk it out because I retain information better that way. If I'm just reading, it's hard for me to retain stuff. But if I'm like discussing it with another person or it's being read to me as I'm following along and I'm highlighting important shit, I get it better. And there's a lot of times I'm reading these books and what they're saying, it's either skips around or it's not the same. And you would think if you're doing an Audible, version of the book, it should just be read as is. And there's some stuff that's been thrown in there that I know are words that aren't used. It's fascinating. Check that shit out. You want to go down a new rabbit hole? Somebody else do that for me. Let me know if newer books aren't printed exactly the way they were before. Mandela effect. Oh, that's another rabbit hole to go down. Have you gone down the Mandela effect rabbit hole? I did that too back in 2017. A lot of that shit. And that's fun. They changed the symbol, this and that's not the same. The words aren't the same. It's like, I don't know what that is either. I don't know, but it's fun to look into it. I don't know. Is it a giant collider with people? I don't know. See, again, try to find some old books if you can. Get the information from there about whatever it is you're researching. It's good stuff. Publications on the internet, I've noticed Google, they're fucked up. They're fucking corrupted and they're tainted with shit. But if you can find something pre-2000s, even go further, pre-70s and 60s, whatever you're looking up, information about whatever it is, It's out there. Just go to an old used bookstore. They have a ton of old books. There's great shit there. What else? Yeah, don't trust the internet. I know I'm on the internet. It sounds hypocritical, and in a weird way, it is. But this is also a good tool because not everything you hear on here is all 100% bullshit. There's a lot of truth, but you have to try to get to the truth. Because if you expect the truth to just be plopped in your lap, it's never going to fucking happen. You have to dig. You really got to dig. Look through the stories. Don't accept the first story as it comes, especially with like all the mass shootings and everything. Don't accept the first story. That's such bullshit, guys. If you don't realize it's all nonsense by now, you're one of those people that thinks we need to strict our gun laws. Like you're a pigeon. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my hawks out there. Where are my hawks at? Yeah, there's the unbearables and the bears. I'm the hawks. How far do you go? Up to you. But what happens after you decide? Nothing. Nothing happens. It really just kind of gives you a peace of mind, a better understanding of yourself because it shows you what you're willing to do. But the fact that you're even willing to go down these rabbit holes, I think tells you that, you don't accept bullshit. Don't sit there with that achy feeling in your chest going, something ain't right. Something's not good. It's okay. My wife, fuck what your wife says. Just do it for yourself, men and women alike. The ladies out there who want to go down these rabbit holes, and they're out there. There are. I'm with a woman who feels the same way. What else do I have in my notes? Research. Yeah, just dig, man. And at the end of the day, you decide, are aliens real? Sure, whatever. I used to think they were more than anything. But then again, I think there's like some kind of force that I can't describe. Some people call it God. Some people call it energy. Some people call it Buddha. Some people call it chakras. Whatever. Pick a label and whatever works for you. It's probably more similar and the same than we actually like to think. But that's how human beings operate. We think we go on this one thing and we're like, this is it. I'm going to tell you this is it because I believe it's it. And it's like, nah, well, that makes sense over there too. Honesty with yourself. Tell the truth. You'll be okay. Yeah, so that's going down rabbit holes, man. What's another one that's really common right now that I've noticed popping up? The Titanic. Some say it wasn't the Titanic, and JP Morgan wanted to kill the 3 top bankers in the world at the time because they opposed the Federal Reserve. And the Titanic really wasn't the Titanic. It was the Olympia, which was already damaged from a hull fire, I believe. And so they switched the names and sent out the Olympia as the Titanic. They knew it was going to sink because it wasn't seaworthy. And they needed the insurance money. And JP Morgan wanted to kill the people that opposed the Federal Reserve. They died. Federal Reserve came into play. It controls everything. Fucking go down that rabbit hole, people, and tell me that's not fun. It's fun. Huh? This is great. Yeah, so look that up for yourself. Don't believe me? Well, fucking, I don't care. Believe what you want. It's just fascinating. And what baffles my mind about the pigeons is like some people aren't at least willing to admit that people do evil shit for their own self-gain, right? Their own, for power, for money, for sex. People do it all the time. Why? I've done it. If I can do it on an individual basis, you don't think it's done at a greater level of a group of people who got real money and real power and shit like that? You think they don't want to keep that under wraps? The Federal Reserve is a reason we're all slaves to money. Just saying. There's a reason the economy can just print money out, or the Federal Reserve can just print money and, nothing to back it. Yeah, you got a printer? You got the ink? Yeah. Throw me out another trillion. It's not real. And when you find out a lot of shit's not real, it makes life around you so much more enjoyable. At least it did for me. It did. Like, honestly, it did. It's okay. Once you let go of the fear, you're just kind of like, It is what it is. I'm going to go over here and do my little hobby thing because whatever. Because you can spend a lot of time and energy going down this shit. And then you kind of forget, like, oh man, I've got people in my life that are cool and I like to talk to. And I forget that socializing with people is kind of fun, because in order to get down these rabbit holes, you have to give a lot of energy and time. And most people aren't willing. So here I am telling you a little bit about stuff. So drop that one. Titanic. What other one? 9/11. Buildings don't fall like that. Just a small nugget. Just the Epstein thing. If you don't think that's weird, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But the cool thing I learned about the word apocalypse. You've always heard that if you come from like a Christian upbringing or something, the apocalypse is coming. And I used to think it was, fire, brimstone, death, destruction, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, in a way, there's truth to that, but I don't think it's as movie-esque as I like to think, like the movie Armageddon, it's just shit fire. No, I don't think it's like that. I think it's like an unveiling of truth with evil people. They get what's coming to them eventually. They get it, man. Nobody gets out alive, but those people don't get out. Their deaths aren't pretty. You know what I mean? That Epstein guy, if he did die, unless they didn't take him away, maybe they just kidnapped him and they're torturing him right now. Who knows? Because he knew a lot of people in a sex trafficking thing with a lot of powerful stuff. That's true. They don't want that guy talking. Epstein. Jewish. And if you didn't know that either, all media, movies, TVs, Hollywood, all that is run by Jewish people. Look into that. It's a lot of fun. Because there's some crazy shit going on there, and that just makes you go, you know what? Nah. But it makes me really grateful for what I got. Because I come from Polish, Eastern European descent. They don't fuck around over there. Like Polish, Bohemia, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Russia. No one fucks around over there. And they're pretty into what they do. They're just like this, that, nothing. Okay. And I think, thank God that runs through my veins and from my great grandparents who came here. I'm American, right? Because I was born here, but there is some kind of thing to go with lineage, I believe, and how you're brought up. And thank God I've got that awesomeness of that Eastern European, because it's made me, I think, on the inside a little tougher. I almost caved to like a lot of nonsense. I almost caved into all the bullshit that they try to program into you. Just get a job, work hard, pay your taxes, get into crippling debt forever, and just pay, and you'll have a great life. It's like, nah, I can have a great life right now, and I do. And I don't have crippling debt. I'm free. These poor people who go up these pedestals on these pyramids, the higher you go, the crazier it gets. The more the rabbit hole gets deeper and darker. You go down a rabbit hole, it's pretty dark. There ain't a whole lot of light down at the end of that hole. And that's what I've realized. Going down a rabbit hole for me, they're fun. It's fascinating and at times very intriguing because there's still a lot of things I would like to just, look into. But I feel there are other people out there that are willing to do that. And if those other people are willing to do it, I like to hear what they have to say, because I'm pretty open-minded, because I just try to be honest with myself. That's it. That's all you got to do. Be honest with yourself. Stay open-minded. Be willing to do shit. You'll be fine. That's what I've discovered to be a good way of living, right? And everything else, very subjective, But I do know, lied to a lot, lied to even ever since you were lied to. If you grew up in America, you're told Santa Claus was going to bring you presents, lies. The food pyramid, lies. It's like, just acknowledge a few of the lies you've been told will give you a little, like a dip, like a little toe in the pond of truth. And you'll be like, I like this truth thing. Tell me more. You'll go through all the stages of grief. You'll be in denial. You'll get angry. You'll start bargaining. Eventually, you'll get to acceptance. And there you go. There's one in there, but isn't there just 5 stages of grief? Or is it the 4? Denial, anger, bargaining. some other one. Point is, you're all right. Right now, you're okay. Be in the now. It's all good. Rabbit holes are fun. I don't tell people what to do. I always say do it out. Just don't lie to yourself. That's probably the one thing I would tell people to do is don't lie to yourself. That's the best suggestion I can give to anybody. Don't lie to yourself. And by not lying to yourself, I'm talking about everything. Because you know you and what's going on in between your ears. And when you're like, want to do something, you don't want to do something, you want to say something, but you don't think you should say, just go. Ruffle some feathers. People get mad, fuck them. Good. Good. They should get mad. They should question things. It's good to be uncomfortable from time to time because the uncomfortable thing helps you grow. That's why 2 years ago, as scary as and fearful as I was going through that whole summer of Planet X and all that shit, at the end of it, it actually made me a better person. As crazy as that sounds, it really did. Made me less fearful, actually. A better friend, a better brother, maybe a better everything, a better human. Weird. It's a good thing. You can't live in the despair of this world because the despair keeps you from truth. Oh, well, the world's going to hell. I might as well not even try. It's like, no, fuck that. No. It's not going to hell. It's always been crazy. There's always been sick things in this world. There's always been evil. There's always been good. It just takes different forms as the years go on. That's all. That's all it is. Oh, it's the end of the... No, it's not. It's gonna... No. And even if it was... We're all going to die anyway. You're either going to die extremely of old age, and do you really want to live your life in fear going, did I save enough money in my 401k? Did I have a good enough insurance plan? Like, what the fuck kind of life is that? It isn't living. That's a slave. Fucking people, come on. Snap out of that. Take the red pill, I guess. That's another term that's been overused. Red pill. Ridiculous. Anyway, I think that's long enough. I think I went down the rabbit hole enough. And there you go. There's plenty of them out there. Pick the one you want to jump down and see how far you want to go. But I'll tell you this. When you feel yourself starting to get scared of life, if you go down these rabbit holes, there's a couple of things to watch out for. Try not to boast what you say in front of people. Like, did you know? This is what they did. It's hard. I drop little truth bombs because I think it's funny. I'll be walking past people at work, and I'll just walk past them, no reason, just look at them and be like, we didn't go to the moon. Just walk away. They're like, huh, what? And they think I'm weird. It's fun. You just drop the truth every now and then. Just drop the truth. It'd be great. Have a little fun with it. Don't take yourself too seriously. That's my motto, and it's great. I love it. Good times. Anyway, all right. Next week, I'm going to go down a different rabbit hole, I should say. No, I don't know. I might do Aristotle's 12 Virtues, which I'm very intrigued and fascinated by, and it seems like a balanced way of life. But I'm doing more research on the different words and definitions because some of the words even I don't know, and I want to give you guys better information. And better information for me is the way to go. Like, if I'm not sure of something, I don't want to talk about it because that's just not good. That's me not being completely honest. And I don't know enough about the virtues yet, but give me a week. I'll see if I can get some information together and we'll go from there. Like, comment, share, let me know you watch this stuff. I know I sometimes I've heard secretly and get messages that people are like, I like what you say. I'm like, dude, then support it. You like what you hear, support it. Otherwise, we're all going to be living in a Walmart, Target, fucking strip mall cesspool soon. We already do. When you're from like a major city and you just go outwards of the major city for a little bit, but there's still lots of country. There's still a lot of good places to be. Don't let it all become just one giant fucking cesspool of shit. Support what you like. If you like the truth, support the truth. Dig through the nonsense. Don't bullshit yourself and others. You'll be okay. That's it. Honesty, man. Just be honest. Just because somebody's told you something in a book and you read it in your class doesn't necessarily make it true. Question that shit. Columbus didn't discover America, and I was taught that. Not true. So, whatever they're teaching you today in college about, I don't know, transgenderism, question that. It's probably not true. Okay? With that being said, I love everybody. I do. I really do. I love people on an individual basis. I love talking to an individual person because you can, like George Carlin you can say, when you hear where a person's coming from, you look them in the eyes, you can literally see the universe in their eyes. And I am inclined to agree with him on that. When you hear somebody's passion or love for something, not just their bitch moaning and complaining about stuff, but like real love for things, it's wonderful. And that reminds me of the beauty in the world and why I'm still here. And I don't live in the despair of, oh, the world's ending, we're all going to hell. No, I don't think we are. I used to. I did. I used to just not give a shit and be like, fuck it. I'll just lay around all day, jerk off, and watch porn and play video games and drink myself to death. But hey, guess what? Turn that around. So hey, here we are. And for that experience, I'll forever be grateful for. Trust me. Nobody knows how grateful I am for that except for me, but it's pretty fucking, that's a lot. Don't take yourself too seriously. Question everything, guys. It's okay. It's fun. And, I'll see you guys later. We didn't go to the moon.